On July 30th, 1863, in a modest farmhouse in Dearborn, Michigan, a baby boy named Henry Ford was born. His father, William Ford, owned a farm, and Henry was the oldest of 6 children. Life on the farm was a routine of endless chores, early mornings, and a seemingly endless cycle of planting and harvesting. Henry, however, wasn't thrilled by this lifestyle. While his father dreamed of passing down the family farm, young Henry had his dreams. Even as a child, he found joy not in the fields, but in the small mechanical wonders of his world. When Henry was 12, his father gave him a pocket watch, a simple gift that sparked an extraordinary curiosity. He quickly learned how to take it apart and put it back together. Soon, neighbors and friends brought their broken watches to him. Who would have thought this farm boy would become the neighborhood watch repairman? But life wasn't always kind. At 15, Henry's world shattered when his mother, Mary Ford, passed away. Losing her was a devastating blow. She had been his biggest supporter, and without her, the farm seemed more suffocating than ever. This loss deepened his determination to leave the farm and find his true calling. At 16, Henry made a bold decision that would change the course of his life forever. He packed his belongings and left the farm, heading to Detroit. The city was buzzing with new industries, offering opportunities for anyone willing to work hard. But how does a farm boy survive in a bustling industrial city? Henry started by taking whatever job he could find. He worked briefly at the Michigan Car Company Works, a streetcar manufacturer, but was let go after just 6 days. Disheartened but not defeated, he soon found an apprenticeship at the James Flower & Brothers machine shop. Earning $2.60 a week, Henry couldn't afford to relax. To make ends meet, he also worked nights as a jeweler, repairing watches, his old farm trick. Despite these long hours, Henry's passion for machines only grew. In his free time, he tinkered with engines and studied their mechanics. Detroit was a city of steam power then, and every machine he encountered fascinated him. In 1882, after a few years in Detroit, Henry returned to his family in Michigan. But even back on the farm, he couldn't shake his love for machines. His father had recently bought a portable steam engine, a marvel that fascinated local farmers. Henry quickly mastered its operation and even started earning money by helping neighbors with their steam engines. It seemed his reputation as a mechanical genius was spreading. Life continued to evolve. At a New Year's Eve party in 1885, Henry met Clara Bryant. They fell in love and married in 1888. Clara was his rock, supporting his unrelenting curiosity and experiments. As a wedding gift, Henry's father gave him 40 acres of land. But farming? Not for Henry. Instead, he saw the land as a stepping stone for greater ambitions. By the early 1890s, a revolutionary idea was taking shape in Henry's mind. Around this time, he came across an article in a British magazine about gas engines, a new invention gaining traction in Europe. These engines didn't require the long startup time of steam engines and could power vehicles more efficiently. Intrigued, Henry knew he had to learn more. In 1891, Henry and Clara moved back to Detroit, where he landed a job as a night engineer for the Edison Illuminating Company. Working for $40 a month, his primary role was to maintain the company's steam engines. But whenever the engines ran smoothly, Henry would immerse himself in studying electricity and combustion engines. What was it about these machines that drew him in so completely? Maybe it was the promise of a future where machines could make life easier for everyone. In 1893, Henry and Clara welcomed their only son, Edsel. That same year, Henry made a breakthrough. He successfully built his first working gas engine. This was more than a technical achievement. It was the first step toward his dream of creating a horseless carriage. On a quiet night in June 1896, Henry's hard work paid off. He fired up his first car, the Quadricycle. It was a strange-looking contraption, 2 bicycle frames side by side, powered by a small gasoline engine. It didn't have a reverse gear and overheated quickly, but it worked. Imagine the excitement as Henry drove it through the empty streets of Detroit, a taste of the future at his fingertips. Henry later sold it for $200 to fund further experiments. The boy who had once repaired watches for neighbors was now shaping the future of transportation. Henry Ford's journey from a farm boy to an industrial pioneer wasn't an easy one. His success didn't happen overnight, nor was it handed to him. It was a combination of unyielding curiosity, hard work, and a willingness to dream beyond the limitations of his time. Who could have guessed that a boy with a pocket watch would go on to put the world on wheels? What makes Henry's story so inspiring is its human touch. He wasn't born a genius or a wealthy industrialist. He was just a curious boy who dared to follow his passion, even when the odds were stacked against him. Today, his name is synonymous with innovation and progress, proof that even the most unlikely beginnings can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Ford's journey to success wasn't smooth. His first company, the Detroit Automobile Company, collapsed in 1901. Why? The cars were expensive, poorly made, and couldn't sell. But did that stop him? Not at all. Henry's failures only fueled his determination. He often said, "Failure is the opportunity to begin again, more intelligently." After parting ways with his first venture, he turned to racing cars. Why racing? Henry knew that to win the public's trust, he needed to prove his cars were reliable and fast. His 1901 race car defeated Alexander Winton, the reigning champion, catapulting Henry's reputation to new heights. This victory caught the attention of investors, leading to the birth of the Ford Motor Company in 1903. Then came the Model T in 1908, a car that changed everything. Affordable, durable, and easy to maintain, it wasn't just a car, it was a revolution on wheels. Henry wanted every American, from farmers to factory workers, to own a car. And guess what? By the 1920s, more than half of all cars on US roads were Model Ts. But Henry didn't just stop at making cars. He revolutionized how they were made. The introduction of the moving assembly line in 1913 was a game changer. Suddenly, cars could be produced faster and cheaper. I know you won't believe this, but buying a car in 1925 for just $260? Yeah, that's right. It was unthinkable before Ford came along. Henry was a man of vision, but he was also famously stubborn. For years, he resisted any changes to the Model T, even as competitors like General Motors began offering stylish and diverse models. Why change something that worked? But times were changing, and Ford had to adapt. In 1927, after shutting down production for 18 months, the company introduced the Model A, a more modern car. Despite his success, Henry wasn't without flaws. He was known for his authoritarian leadership style, often overruling his son Edsel, who became president of Ford Motor Company in 1918. Edsel wanted to innovate and expand into luxury cars, but Henry clung to his ideas, often to the company's detriment. In 1922, Ford bought the Lincoln Motor Company, marking his entry into the luxury car market. But it wasn't Henry's passion. Edsel took the reins, modernizing Lincoln and introducing stylish models like the Model K in 1931. While Henry may not have cared much for luxury, his son's vision helped the company compete at the high end of the market. Ford's influence extended beyond cars. He paid his workers an unheard of $5 a day, doubling the standard wage at the time. Why? He believed that workers should be able to afford the products they made. This move wasn't just generous, it was smart business. It created a loyal workforce and turned Ford employees into Ford customers. By the time Henry Ford passed away in 1947, he had transformed not just the automobile industry, but the entire world. His innovations made cars accessible to millions, reshaped cities, and even changed the way people lived and worked. Who would have thought that a farm boy from Michigan would end up revolutionizing the 20th century? How do you think Henry Ford's vision continues to shape our world today? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. I would love to hear them. And hey, do you own any of the cars we talked about today? Let us know. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to help our channel grow, and ring the bell so you won't miss any of our future content. Until next time, stay safe out there, folks. Catch you in the next one.